So I think this one might be a little difficult to make. But I think, I think seeing everything that has happened in Paris in the last couple of days, I thought it would be kind of offensive or unfair if I, write everything in my blog or write a lot in my blog and I didn't end up saying something about things that have happened in the last couple of days. Today is Tuesday, November 17th. And I guess the reason that I hadn't, the reason that I hadn't written anything on my blog or I hadn't made a video or anything was mostly because I still couldn't get my my thoughts together. I didn't know exactly what I was feeling. I still kind of don't, but I think it's been a couple of days and I think it's important that I make this video and kind of explain or talk about the things that have happened here in Paris from my perspective. So I thought the best way to do that was to start off just kind of talking about, I think just going about it chronologically and okay, well, I guess I'll start there. Like I said, today's Tuesday. As we all know, Paris had some attacks this past Friday. What was I doing while this was going on? As we can see, thankfully, safe and sound. I was actually, while everything was going on, I was actually here in my room registering for my spring classes back at home. And I actually had my headphones in. I was kind of blasting music, really concentrated because I don't know if it's like that at other schools, but sometimes at my school it's kind of stressful to sign up for classes, especially when you see 10 minutes before you register for your classes that the classes you wanted to take, were all full, and now then you have to change your whole schedule. So I had my headphones in and I went through like all these schedules that I thought in case one class closed or whatever. And you guys know me, I always have my phone on me constantly. Like if I don't reply within maybe I would say an hour. If I don't reply to you in an hour, we know something's going on. But because I was so concentrated on what I was doing, I actually had my phone. So I was sitting here at my desk and I had my phone on the desk, but it was face down, so I wasn't looking at it. And I was, like I said, I was so enthralled in what I was doing that I hadn't looked at my phone in kind of a while. And when I did look at my phone, I had like over 50 text messages from people saying, I guess the first one that I looked at was from one of my good girlfriends here, and she said something like, "Are you okay? Are you safe?" And kind of said, "Yeah, I'm in my room registering for classes like I told you I would." That was the first thought that came to mind, but I just replied, "Yeah, in my room." And then I looked at this WhatsApp group that we have between all of my friends here, and then I kind of realized what was going on, because when my friends asked if everybody was safe, again, I didn't understand why all of a sudden on a random Friday he was asking if everybody was safe. And then as I read all the text messages that were coming in, oh, there's a shooting at République, and like all of the other text messages, I guess as sad as it is to say, I live in Milwaukee, so it's not unheard of that there's a shooting going on in the city. So my first thought was, oh crap, there's a shooting, oh God, like glad I'm not there. But with my mentality, it was kind of like, that sucks, but and then as more text messages came in, I realized that it was a lot more than just a shooting going on somewhere in the city. And then all my friends started, in our group message that we have, everybody started checking, making sure that everybody was accounted for. And that's kind of where I asked, like, okay, really, seriously, what's going on? I don't have a TV in my room, so I had no idea what was going on. And my friend, he was like, follow this news channel, it's live on YouTube. And so I turned it on, and that's kind of when I realized the gravity of the situation. And then all of a sudden I started getting Facebook messages, text messages from everybody just asking me, are you okay? Are you safe? Like, everybody back home. And I just remember, like, I had logged into the YouTube channel, and as soon as I saw what was happening, I went from sitting here at my desk, and I like just grabbed my computer and I laid on my bed, and I was just watching the news, not believing what was going on. And that's kind of when it started to hit, and obviously started shaking, feeling super nauseous, but obviously worried about all my friends, so we're all texting, making sure that everybody's accounted for. And then one of my friends ended up calling me, and which I'm really, really thankful for, because at that point, I live alone. So I was by myself. So the fact that he called so I wouldn't be alone, just to make sure I was okay. I'm really thankful for that, because if he hadn't called, I'm not really sure how that night would have gone. But all of our friends were accounted for, so I was really thankful to hear that everybody was safe. But I think for us it was a little more scary because, like they said in the news, the attackers, they wanted to scare and they wanted to get as much of the young population, I guess, as they could, so that's where they went. And that's where my friends and I usually hang out, especially on Friday nights, on weekends. So it was just very lucky that for some reason or another, none of us ended up going out that night, because had we, then we would have been there. So very thankful for that. I think I was mostly in shock all weekend. I stayed in bed all weekend. I literally just stayed in bed all weekend. I try to do homework, try to concentrate on it as much as I could, but obviously my mind wasn't on it. Actually, Friday when it happened, here it was about 10 p.m. and I stayed up watching the news, and I think I fell asleep probably around after, the last time I remember looking at the clock, it was like 5:30 a.m. And then when I did wake up Saturday, I woke up with hugging my laptop. So it was kind of an awful day, and I woke up Saturday feeling super nauseous, feeling really dehydrated. I think it was probably from the scare, not wanting to go out, obviously. That was Saturday. Sunday again, I spent my entire day in bed, except when I decided to make dinner and walk downstairs where our kitchen is, and it's not a big deal or anything, but I slipped and I fell and I hit my head, and my first thought was concussion, but that really doesn't matter when it comes to it. I'm fine, by the way. But yeah, I stayed in bed all day. Sunday again, couldn't sleep Sunday, probably fell asleep, Saturday, probably fell asleep after 6 a.m. to Sunday. Sunday, stayed in bed all day. And the first day that I went out was yesterday. Did not want to leave my room yesterday, but after talking to all my friends, just kind of realized that if I didn't leave my room and if I didn't go out and try to, get back into my normal routine that I knew, and it was going to be harder in the long run. And so left for class yesterday morning. I take the tram to school, so I waited for the tram, and I got on, and I got a seat in the tram. That never happened, so I got to, it was very empty, so I got to sit, and I think I wasn't really thinking about it, and then it kind of hit me, everything that has happened, and so I remember just sitting there and looking at everybody, feeling kind of nervous, and then my heart started pounding, because I know that I'm probably safe. The military's here. There's so much more security. There's police all over the street, but there's still that fear. And I remember we were on the tram and we heard an ambulance, and all of a sudden, as soon as we heard the ambulance, everybody stopped what they were doing, like they were reading or whatever. They all stopped to look and see what was going on. So yeah, it was kind of surreal. Went to school, and there was extra security at school. We had to show our student card in order to get in. Had international marketing and international business classes yesterday. Spent international business talking about the events. Our professor is very concerned about us, wanting to make sure we were all okay, that we weren't anywhere near the attacks. So he was very sweet, very nice, and really let us talk about the subject. Got out of that class early. So my friends and I went to the cafe that we have on campus, sat down, had a coffee, and talked about what happened. Made sure we were all okay, and we're all from different countries, so just hearing everybody's perspective on what was going on was pretty interesting. Some of my friends don't feel safe here anymore. Some of them want to go home, and when I spoke to my parents on Sunday, they asked me how I was feeling, if I wanted to go home, and I don't know. I think at this point I'm feeling okay. If anything, if I did go home, I'd lose my entire semester, and I've been working so hard at school, and I didn't think it was worth it. Sorry. But it was just, but it was just really nice walking into school and being able to see my friends, and just like I think that was what got me the most emotional, like hugging my friends, because just going through something like this and having that support system is just incredible, because I know back home everybody kept asking, making sure I was okay, so I have that support system. But then my friends here, all of us are constantly texting each other even now, making sure that we're all okay. So it's just really nice to see everybody and hug everybody. I don't think I've ever been happier to see any of them. So just thankful that we're okay. But anyway, so after marketing, we had our international business class, and while some people skipped, some of us said, no, we're probably going to have a great conversation, and we're going to talk about what this means for the world. I mean, if we don't discuss it in international business, then what's that going to say, that's probably the class where you would discuss it. And we discussed it for 10 or 15 minutes, and then our professor told us that it was time to move on, because life goes on. And I think we were all kind of in shock that she would say something like that, because, everybody reacts differently, but we all expressed the fact that we wanted to continue the discussion, but she decided it was time to move on, and she said she sets the agenda, so that's what we did. We moved on, even though nobody really felt up to moving on. I think we're all doing our best to get past what's happened. My friends are trying to spend time together. None of us really want to be alone. I say while sitting alone in my room. But just trying to be together and being alert and being aware, and I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. We're hoping that we're safe, that nothing else, that it's going to get better, that it's not going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know. But anyway, I see that this video has gotten very long, but I did think it was important to talk about what had happened. I think I'll probably be adding more onto this tab, because I think this is something really important and something that I should be talking about, even though I get emotional or I feel uncomfortable or whatever. I think it's very important to talk about instead of ignoring the issue. But that's it. That's all I have to say today. And I guess I just have to say thank you. If you're watching this, you're probably pretty cool, because no. I mean, yes, but I'm very thankful to see how many people have reached out to me to make sure that I was okay. I think in these times that are so difficult and there's so much uncertainty, just really thankful to have really, really great people constantly looking out for me. I mean, I was just on Facebook on Friday and Saturday, just messages after messages after messages, making sure that I was okay, and texts. And even my mom told me, that family from all over the country, my own doctor called my mom to make sure that I was okay. So just very thankful. I think one of the coolest things that I've seen are all the lights that, all the cities or all these countries are portraying the red, white, and blue here. France, every time I see one of those, I just get really teary and makes my heart swell from love. Even Milwaukee, my hometown, the Milwaukee airport had its red, white, and blue colors, and the town hall has our Eiffel Tower that we use for Bastille Days every year, put it up. So it's great to see that so many people care about what's going on. Like I said, I'm thankful that I'm okay, but it's great to see so many communities coming together and caring so much about what's going on here. It's an incredible feeling to know that so many people care. I'm just going to try my best to keep going and getting back to as much normalcy as I can. All right, that's it. Kisses for everybody.